Welcome, my friends. I'm super stoked to talk about today's subject, which is the mind. This subject is very interesting. We all do have it, and but yet we haven't really learned how to use that amazing tool what we've been blessed with. I want to start off by clarifying what's the difference between brain and the mind. The brain, well, it's an organ like any other. We have a heart, it does certain things. We have a liver, it does certain things, and we have a brain, and it does certain things. We have two sides of the brain. We have the left side, which is more analytical, and it's more daily activity functioning side of the brain. And then we have the right side of the brain, which is more creative and more artistic. Like, it's far more intelligent than the left side of the brain, and it's not fully operational in day-to-day basis. Brain is responsible for action and reaction, the sensory responses. On the other hand, we have the mind, which is a far more complex concept than the brain. I'm going to be talking about coming from yogic science perspective, looking at the mind. Because in yogic science, they divide the mind into 16 parts. And these 16 parts can be, well, they are in four different categories. The first category would be the intellect. And the Western world sees this as the mind. But it's only one category of the mind. And the intellect works with limited data which has gathered by the sensory receptors. It works only with logic. If you look at it this way, intellect is like a knife. You rather have your knife to be sharp than dull. Intellect works by dissecting everything. For example, if you would want to know what this flower is, if you use only with your intellect, you can dissect and learn the different species of um, this flower, but you truly don't know what the flower is. And after that, you wouldn't have a flower anymore. But if you would like to know your mother, you understand that by dissecting, you would get to know where the heart is, where the liver is, and so on. But we understand that you wouldn't get to know your mother, so please do not try to get to know your mother by dissecting. There's other ways. The next category is identity. Like, I am this. I am Finnish. I am Teemu. I'm a professional athlete. All of these are just identities, and your ego needs these identities to create the self image, which is the illusion of I. And your intellect works to protect these identities. It does whatever it can to protect that your sense of self wouldn't scatter. If you keep looking at this knife, in this concept, your hand, which holds the knife, is the identity. And depending on the hand, the knife can be productive or destructive. So therefore, you want a steady hand, which means no identity. So we don't identify ourselves with anything. It is called cosmic identity. The next category we have is memory. And we have 8 dimensions of memory stored within our body. Starting off with elemental memory, atomic memory, evolutionary memory, karmic memory, articulated memory, unarticulated memory, conscious and unconscious memory. How your memory is processed is through your identity. Our body holds so much memory. You don't remember how your great 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 grandparents look like, but they are sitting right on your nose. Memory is a tremendous possibility, but we have to remember that it has its limitations. It is a boundary. The next category would be pure intelligence, which is not affected by memory. No memory means limitless. It is a limitless possibility, and a memory is just a boundary we have set for ourselves. Next, I would like to talk about the three concepts of the mind, which are the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. Well, the unconscious mind, to my understanding, is when we are in deep sleep and we are unconscious. The consciousness is still there, but we are just not aware of it. How we go about our days in daily living is 95% of our actions come from our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is like a hard drive that we can download all kinds of programs there, and it produce them automatically without even you thinking about it. Like if you think about how your heart works, your subconscious mind works that hard to keeps the blood pumping to everywhere. And if you think about when you were very little and you didn't know how to walk, then you just started crawling and getting up and falling down and getting up and falling down and so on. And eventually you learned how to stand up and how to walk. And this, now when you think about it, you don't really have to pay any attention when you get up and just start walking. And this is just one program, what we have learned. The subconscious mind is so huge. It is far more powerful than your conscious mind. Since 95% of your daily actions come from the subconscious mind and only 5% come from the conscious mind, we gotta really pay attention to what kind of habits do we have and what kind of programs do we have in the subconscious mind. Because these programs, what we have in the mind, mostly come from our childhood, when we are in the age of 0 to 6 years old. That's when our conscious mind hasn't yet developed. So therefore, whatever we see, whatever we hear, we take it straight into our subconscious mind, because there's no concept of conscious mind, which is the mind that can think and can reject an idea. But since we don't have that as a kid, we just take everything in and learn it, and that's how we create how to, act in society and in the family. So now, the good news is, if you really wanna change your life, you can. And we have blessed with tremendous amount of possibility, and we gotta embrace it. So everything starts from within. They come from within, and then we create it outside. Like if you think about the New Year's resolutions, what people tell that, oh, this year I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do different things. And yet they might do it for a little bit, but then they just go back to their old habits and everything is literally the same. Well, it is actually not their fault. It's just how they've been programmed before. And if they wanna change their habits and change who they are, they have to start from within. They have to reprogram those subconscious programs by a paradigm shift. And a paradigm shift is you changing your old thought pattern to a new one, which is more your liking. And how do you do this? First off, when you're conscious, your conscious mind's job is to pay attention what's going on right now, because that's the only place where you can actually make the change, is right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, it's right now. Because there's only this moment. There's no other moment ever. It's only how you experience life is in this moment. When it comes to reprogramming your subconscious mind, there's certain times of the day when your subconscious mind is the most recipient. This means there's different brain waves that you are affected, and they work in different ways. But you want to be in a theta state, which is just before you go to bed, just before you're falling asleep. You're not thinking that much, and then your brain is working on a theta brainwave. And the next is in the morning, right after when you wake up, because you're not sure if you're still awake or not. It's very easy to fall into these habits, the subconscious programs that you wake up, you get up, you go brush your teeth, and do whatever it is that you do in the morning. So therefore, those two would be the best times to listen affirmations or do meditation, tell your subconscious mind whatever you want to program in there. And once you start doing this, you will start the paradigm shift. You can change your thoughts and your behavior patterns. And where the change happens is actually in the moment. You start creating these positive thoughts, and the next order of business is with your conscious mind. When you notice a possibility in your daily day life, you have to take the action. I've really thought about this, and what I've learned is that there's no other way around than just doing it. I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's going to be challenging at times, because your ego is going to tell you that don't do this. But it's just because it wants to keep you the same. It doesn't like change. But if you want to change yourself, you have to do it. You have to break the habits. And breaking the habits, it happens right now, in the moment. Notice the possibility you have in front of you. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And I am truly grateful for you and for your time, you being here and listening. Namaste.